Morning, friends. That's my drink. Leave it alone. Hey, that's mine. Quit. Oh, I'm hacking up a lung. Hello, friends. Inside. All right, so today is Monday. I am on my front porch drinking my hot chocolate. I'm so ready for this home redo. We are going to be using our tax return money to pay a bunch of medical bills that have popped up, but we're going to use a little bit of it to paint and clean and repair some things around the home. We have lived here for 4 years now. It's time to do some cleanup and some revamping that we never got to, and that needs to be done. So I'm kind of excited about that. We went out on our anniversary to Lowe's to try to find those things, and then I didn't want to do it. I was sick. I was done. I had been out too long. That day, our anniversary little trip thing, whatever we did on Saturday, was more than I've done in like 2 months. And all in a row like that, it was very draining. The next day, I was too sick to go to church. I couldn't get up. I had to take painkillers that night, which I said I wouldn't do anymore. But I was desperate. I was in so much pain. When I say pain, what do I mean? I mean, in the same areas that I was having pain before, and some lower and throughout my whole digestive system. It's like I eat so little that I feel the food wherever it is in my digestive system. And wherever it is, it aches and like moans and hurts, and it's crampy wherever it is. Whether it's in my stomach or over going towards the other side on the right, going around the curves or what. It aches and pains. And think of, have you had really bad diarrhea and you get the cramp? Okay, that pain is what's down in my lower digestion system when I'm getting ready, when food I actually eat goes down there, or liquid. And then it feels like the same thing, but higher up in my, right under your ribs, like a line right under your ribs right here. That's that cramp. I'm trying to remind myself that last year, in March, my daughter almost died. She almost died, and I spent that whole month helping her in the hospital. I never left the hospital, and blah, blah, blah. There's a whole series on it if you feel like going to watch it. That was when I realized that my phone could be my therapy tool and my sharing tool. But a year ago, right at this time, my daughter almost died. And I spent the next month helping her. Emotionally, I was drained. I was broken. Spiritually, I had to rely on God, and that was it. That was all that was carrying me through. But that's when the whole I didn't have enough to eat started. Because I was stuck in the hospital with her. And it was COVID. COVID had just started. And that caused a bunch of complicated problems. And then after she finally started getting a little bit better, I got sick. I think that's when I got COVID. But I never went and got tested or anything, because that was right when they said nobody leave your house unless you're like dying. That's what they were saying. So I spent a month very ill. And then close to summer, right before that, Mason passed out, and we thought he had developed heart issues, and so we spent a month dealing with that. And then I went and got Marley for the summer, and she was here, and that was actually a blessing because she played with Bella and blah, 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 and I love having her here. But then September hit. She went home at the end of August, and September hit, and I was done. My body was broken. And when you have an autoimmune disease, that kind of trauma, which is exactly what it is it was trauma. Going through all of that, my body revolted. My body went haywire. It finally gave up and decided, we gotta do something. And that's when an autoimmune disease, your body will start attacking itself. And I guess that's where the gallbladder started and the other stuff, because that's right when I started having all the chest pain and the acid reflux and all of that. Actually, the acid reflux started on my trip to get Marley, which was June 1st. And I had a Ziploc bag full of Tums, and I was eating them like candy because I had so much acid in my throat and my stomach, and I was so stressed out. I also got stuck in the airport for 12 hours and with no food because nothing was open because of COVID. So complicated. I'll tell that story another time. This is a really long video, but that's what was going on, and that's why my body attacked itself. So here we are. That all makes sense now. Man, line upon line. You look back and you realize what's actually going on. And so I was so depleted and my body was physically attacking itself at that point that when I go to doctors as a last resort because I try to use nutrition and what I know and rest and blah, blah, blah to get myself better before I go to a doctor. I don't run to a doctor. No, I mean, I say that for me. I don't run to a doctor. I'm just informing you. That sounded rude. But I go to the doctor as a last resort, or if I know I have something wrong, like, okay, I have strep throat. And I go in and I'm like, hey, Mary, I got strep throat. Will you test me? So that kind of situation. So these doctors are seeing us in these little minute worst moments. They can't possibly be the only, they can't possibly figure out the problem as quickly, but I feel like a lot of my doctors knew that this was gallbladder a long, long, long time ago. And I could probably prove that, but it's not a big deal. My problem is I think the system should change. I think that there are people that walk into your office and say, I think this is my gallbladder. Can we move forward into the more advanced test? That the insurance companies should take that and understand that I know what I'm talking about, but I don't know how to get that system changed because that's a weird problem to have. The insurance companies are what made me wait so long for surgery. They made us jump through all the hoops. So, blah. Oh, that was a tangent. Sorry. A line right under your ribs right here. That's that crampy feeling there, and it's weird. Contacted my doctor. She said to take the Prilosec at night, and I'm going to see if that helps. She also said we can do a gastric emptying test, which I might do in about a month, but I don't want to do it now. I've done that before. And it's not bad. It's just boring. And I want to see if I can heal myself. I want to see what I can do with nutrition and non-invasive and see if I can give my body a break and see what I can do. I have a lot of knowledge. I've spent since I was 18 learning natural holistic stuff. So I think I can do this. I think I can, along with medical stuff like science. I'm not going to stop taking my medicine or anything, but I'm going to work on nutrition, getting things in, and I'm going to work on it too. I have been. That sounds really weird for me to say, but here's the deal. Like, I was kind of depending mostly on medical science to fix me because the past 6 months, I kind of threw my hands up because I was so sick, and that's why I'm where I'm at. Like, I realized yesterday in the shower, I told Brandon, I'm like, dude, do you realize that if I lose 3 more pounds, I've lost 70 pounds in 6 months? And I'm not exercising. This is all diet related and body illness related. So that kind of blew my mind. So I realized, I'm like, I've got to make some changes. I've got to do something. So I should show you what I got. I got these smoothies, these whole food smoothies that are nothing added, and they're powdered, freeze-dried fruits and vegetables, and that's it. And I'll show you later. They got here today. I'm actually really excited about them because you just add it to water. And I could put it in a capsule and I could just swallow a bunch of them, but I'm like, there's got to be a way. Like, I feel like putting the whole freeze-dried fruits and vegetables in water and just drinking it, I feel like I will actually absorb a lot of those nutrients. Fingers crossed. I hope I really absorb all those nutrients and that it really helps, but we're going to see. And we're going to see how bad they taste. Sorry, I said how bad they taste. Because I can always throw it in a blender and add ice or a banana or something. But I'm hoping that it's super simple and I can just add it with water and it tastes good. Oh, one other thing. I'm highly allergic to dates. Like, so funny story. I'll order something or I'll get something, and Brandon's always, well, not always, but at times he checks the labels if it's something new in the house. And I don't even think... I bought like this granola thinking, oh, I was like, look, Brandon, this is great. He took it and he turned it around. This has dates. And he threw it in the cabinet and shut the door. And I was like, yeah, well, I guess I should have been more careful about reading the label. I'm highly allergic to dates. Like, they could kill me if I have them. So I'm very careful about reading labels. And a lot of these powdered things, I don't even remember the name of the place where I got them. I ordered them. So I'll tell you in a minute and I'll show you them. But I had to look at the ingredients of each one, and I found that they were all whole foods, whole fruits, no additives, no sugars, no none of that. And I have no sweet tooth anymore. Like, I've had so little sugar for so long that, like, a mini Hershey Kiss would be too much for me. So I think I'm going to do okay with these. And some of them do have dates as one of their additives for a sweetener. And I did not order those, obviously. But there's tons that don't have dates. So I'll show you them in a little bit. Hold on. Ooh, I can't stop coughing. As a little side note, the reason I found out I was allergic to dates is because they almost killed me. But they told me when I was in the hospital with it. But they told me that if you're allergic to sulfa, S-U-L-F-A medications, which is in a certain antibiotic, which I am highly allergic to, that you're usually allergic to dates as well. I guess chemically it has the same properties inside. I think that's what they told me, and I'd have to research it again. And at one point I did research it. So they are related. So if you have a reaction, like, let's see, what reaction did I have? With the sulfa antibiotic, they usually give it for like kidney infections and bladder infections and urinary infections and things like that. So after I had Mason, I got a horrible bladder infection, and they gave me sulfa medication, and it almost killed me. But I got hives all over my entire body. I got a high fever. I got headaches. I was sweating profusely. I was dizzy and I was shaking. And I started to have anaphylaxis reaction, but I got to the hospital and they fixed all that. So that is the same thing that happened when I had dates. But it was interesting because it was kind of a different reaction. It was like my body started convulsing, like tightening and convulsing and then loosening, and then tightening and convulsing and then loosening. And then all of the other reactions started happening. So it almost killed me, and I ended up in the hospital. And it was really crazy because Mason was sick. It's a long story, and I won't go into it. I'll go into it later. Mason was sick, and he had to literally save my life. He had to call my parents and get them to my house to get me to a hospital. And he took like the baby and put her in a crib and got the other boys to lay in their room and gave them tablets. I mean, it's 6 years old. That kid saved his chronically ill mom's life. And that's sad to me. Man, what a pattern that created. That's sad. But whatever. The whole point was, if you're allergic to sulfa medications, don't eat dates.